Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're well and having a beautiful day, doing whatever makes you happy in your happy space. In today's tutorial, we will be making the Nordic star and I think you are going to love it. This star is inspired by Scandinavian designs and is well known for its clean lines, geometric shapes, and it's simple but yet elegant. Okay, so I think this will go really nicely. It gives the impression of a snowflake star and it will add a touch of Scandinavian charm to our quilt to improve our home decor for Christmas. So if you missed the opportunity to get the free pattern for the first quilt, a long block, please do note that the whole free pattern selection has now been closed, and I obviously service the persons who contacted me more or less ASAP, leaving their details. However, the good news is that if you would like to still take part, all you simply need to do is to become a channel member. It is much more affordable to become a channel member and you will get the patterns incorporated with your channel membership rather than buying the blocks individually. However, if you're not inclined in joining the channel member, all you need to do is buy the pattern. So unfortunately, the free pattern selection has now been closed. All right. So if you enjoyed this tutorial, please don't hesitate to share, like, subscribe, and definitely leave a comment down below. Those simple things really help the channel out quite a lot. And if you support the channel, all you simply need to do is just do those three things that I just instructed you to. So let's get started on this beautiful Nordic star. I think you are going to love it. Please do remember we are making two of the star blocks, and I will remind you of this as normal. The link will be in the description box down below, and for those of you who were able to get the free pattern, I will email you accordingly. And for those of you who'd like to join, just simply press join in the description box down below and you will get your patterns. So let's get started. Leave a comment down below, share with me your feelings about the block, and I will see you in the next clip. All right, so we're making the Nordic block this week. I have all my fabric sizes here already cut out, and so we're going to get started. All right, so let's get on to it. So this is the second block, just so that you know, and we're making two again of this particular block. All right, so all of the cuts have been done just so that the video is simplified a lot more quickly. I have everything ready set out here. I would urge you to do that so that you remain a little bit more organized and you don't get anything confused. Also, this is a Nordic star, so I have a sort of the tartan red here to use, as well as my sort of medium lights, well, I should say medium darks, and my background color. I have some strips, rectangles, and some squares. All right, everything will be in the pattern down below to help you. We need to pair up the squares, so I'm going to move these aside and move this aside so that we don't get it confused. Well, at least I don't get it confused. So we're going to pair up these two, and I think it's these two, and these four together. All right, so we're going to make some half square triangles. So I've paired up a background and a tartan. That's what I'm going to call it because it's easier to remember it that way, or a striped for the background fabric, as well as my red and my background again, and I've taken both reds and I have paired them together. So we're going to mark on the back of all of them, and we're going to make half square triangles. We're going to mark a drawn line from point to point, and we're going to stitch on either side of that line, and we're going to chain piece all of it. Remember, we are making two blocks of the Nordic star, so I'm just going to collect these as they are and mark them as I sit down next to the sewing machine, and we're going to get continuing from there. All right, so let's continue. So all you need to do now, once you've done your chain piecing so that it goes by quickly, separate your chain, and all you need to do is just cut them into half square triangles. So you should have 2 lots of each. Okay. Alright guys, so what I have done is spread it out so that it already forms the layout of the block. Okay, and I think this is a good way for you to do it so that you don't get confused. So my corners, I've laid them out in the orientation that all of the reds are in the corners. Okay, so all of the red are in the corners. All right, at the end, corners at the end, it's very important. Okay, also what I would like you to do is to, whatever colors you're using for the star legs, you need to keep those 2 colors touching when you are making your square, your stars with your half square triangles. So for example, I have my red strip here with the stars in it, and I have the, I'm going to refer to as a tartan print with the strip on it, the stars in it as well. Okay, sorry if I made that confusing. So I'll repeat that. So the star red, or my medium dark red, is touching my other medium dark red with a print on it. My tartan here is going to be touching the tartan here. So the simplest way to do that is to get yourself a 4 patch. So make it into a 4 patch so that you can see. Okay, and immediately it forms the star legs. Your strip again now will sew onto that once you've made this into a 4 patch, and the next one does the same. So it goes there as well, there as well. Again, that tartan print touching each other, and then you've got your corner square you bring in as well as your medium reds here touching each other. Again, you can already see the pattern coming through. With your other strip, it's going to be sewn together as a 3-piece with the corner smaller in the middle to make up the northern star. And of course, once you have that strip, you will then sew these together, isn't it? The same way here again, you make your 4 patch, ensuring that those 2 are touching each other. Okay, and again, these 2, we bring them in. Everything is measured correctly, so it should come together quite nicely. Again, create your 4 patch here. Once that is done, we can add that there as well, and then we're going to put that in. Okay, and then this one comes over as well, because again, we're making our 4 patch. We're making sure these 2 are touching, and again making sure these 2 are touching, and our corner comes in. Okay, And that is it basically. So this is your Nordic star. So we're going to sew together as we would normally, like a 9 patch. So again, once you've made this into a row, then you sew this one onto that, and then this one onto these two, and your star is complete. Absolutely beautiful. What I want you to take heed of though is to remember to alternate the way your legs are formed. So for example, I have my tartan print and my star medium red. Tartan print, star medium red. Tartan print, star medium red. Tartan print, star medium red. Okay, so it forms it quite nicely, and you got your little dot in the middle that brings the whole thing together. These are really nice at the end. I like them. If you don't want to add the corners, then you can just make it into a solid square. So you can just have your background here only. But I do like having the red here. I think it helps bring the whole thing together and give it a different look rather than having the background plain. Okay, so I think that's it. So I'm going to sew it together, and then I will present the block to you. Do remember again that you are making 2 of these blocks. So when you are cutting and chain piecing, do everything for 2 blocks in one go, so that it's easier for you and quicker for you to finish. But it's a very easy block. It comes together really nicely, and the colors, the variation of the reds really make the block stand out. But I'll sew it and give you a proper look. I would say as a tip, to avoid making mistakes, what I am doing here is just taking it over on my pressing mat, and I am just lining it up the exact same way, you know, just to avoid making errors, because sometimes when you move it, that is when the error happens. So just take it over exactly the way you've planned it out, and then you can sit there and chain piece the whole block within 2 to 3 minutes, and that way it avoids any mishaps. Once you've sewn the base together, you have your 3 pieces, then you're going to join these and bring them together, and everything should match up. All right, so I'm going to do that and then I'll finish off. I just wanted to make sure and point that out. Another thing I wanted to point out before I complete the block is to make sure to tell you that once you sew the strip, you need to make sure that you pin it here at the intersection where the white is, so you get that really nice square. Okay, so you can see that join there really nicely. So that's important to just make sure that you pin it. Alright guys, so here is a completed block. This block, it turns out really beautiful. Loving the way it looks, even on point, it sits really nicely. Alright then, so if you're happy with the tutorial, please go ahead and like and subscribe, share the video out, and hopefully you have enjoyed everything about this block, the Nordic block. Alright, okay, so bye for now. Happy quilting. Do remember, any questions, please reach out to me. The pattern is in the description box down below for those of you who wanted to buy it or not taking part, whatever, etc. And for those of you who are in the quilt along, I will of course email it to you. So this is it. So bye for now. Happy quilting, and I'll see you in the next one, guys.
Baby, you give me ice and fire. You're giving me wind and rain.